All right, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever had the feeling that you're being told about an impending event and some type of disaster that's coming? If you are familiar with the Masons, the people that I believe rule this world and control it and are constantly increasing their control, I think that they're showing us all the time through symbolism and predictive programming about what they're really up to and what they plan to do. And I wanted to start here. And I know maybe you've had this feeling, maybe you share this feeling, but I want to show you what I'm talking about. And I wanted to start here with Cathedral of St. John the Divine, which was built its construction was started in 1892. And the outside main structure was completed in 1909 and they're still working on it to this day. I mean, this is a building that they're still working on, and they had a master mason in 1988. From 1988 to 1997, they had a master stone carver come and redo some of these pillars in here. And the one that really catches my eye, the one I wanted to talk about today, is it's in the Portal of Paradise. It's one of the main pillars, and this pillar is called John's Revelation. And in the pillar, you even have the Twin Towers here, and they seem to be leaning just as much or more than the rest of the city. That caught my eye, but it also is what looks like, it just looks like New York is being decimated by a tidal wave. It's pretty creepy. This is supposed to depict the apocalypse, which, Genesis tells us that God, according to Genesis, if you're a Christian, that God would never flood the earth again. He wouldn't go through this method to destroy the entire world. So if you're a devout Christian, you know that this is not, you should understand that God is not going to destroy the entire earth with a flood. Everything else, there's always going to be tsunamis and other events, but as far as flooding the earth, the totality of it's not going to happen. So this is a giant tidal wave just engulfing the entire city that this guy has carved into this wood. It's pretty creepy. And here's another look at it from a higher angle. And you can see just the force of these waves is what's knocking the buildings over. It's obviously a tsunami of some type. They have a 9/11 memorial in there. I don't know. The whole thing just kind of creeps me out, to be honest. This was built by Freemasons, by the way. And I wanted to point this out also. Before we go any further, that the Masons and the mystery religions worship Harpocrates, which is a deity, a Greek deity, Babylonian deity. This is where the Masons trace their lineage back to Babylon and Egypt. These gods, and these secret societies have passed down these traditions. It's pretty messed up, actually, but if you really dig into this, but there's something. The sign of Harpocrates is also called the sign of silence, okay? And they use it as a sign to remind their associates or fellow initiates to stonewall or shut up about something, or it's sort of a symbol to the other Masonic initiates, or these secret societies are all based, a lot of them, in Masonry. And you have this picture here. You've got it's the Royal Master's degree. You'll have the Harpocrates, the one that use the right index finger in front of the mouth. And it's the vow of silence, to keep quiet about the things that they know. And like I said, there are a lot of celebrities, high-ranking officials, politicians that use this. We've got medieval priests using it. It's associated with the Illuminati. We got Colin Powell over here, and he's in Kabbalistic traditions, apparently. I haven't looked much into that, but it doesn't surprise me. We got him using this symbol. got Churchill down here using it. The deity is he's usually pictured as a child. It is associated also with like the mother-child worship of the Catholics, which is a pagan tradition that has infiltrated the Catholic Church, and Catholics are now using a Babylonian tradition to, it's a paganistic ritual or symbol, and they seem to not even, it just kind of got slipped in there and become part of their tradition. Where we have Horus, which is the representation of, he's the son of Osiris, but he's pictured with horns in some of the traditions, with his doing his sign, vow of silence here. And next, I wanted to bring up this clip here where this is from 2014, and Obama is talking about fears of war with Russia, the threat that Russia poses. But he interrupts that idea to just throw out this random idea that, just seems unrelated. Just listen to this.
President Obama says Russia's recent actions in Ukraine are cause for concern, but he thinks terrorism, especially in our area, is a much greater threat.
Russia's actions are a problem. They don't pose the number one national security threat to the United States. I continue to be much more concerned when it comes to our security with the prospect of a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan.
The president was speaking in the Netherlands, where he met with leaders of Japan and South Korea. During that meeting, North Korea test-fired 2 medium...
Yeah, he kind of comes out of nowhere. That's his concern. And I remember talks around this time of scientists saying, people fearing that Russia or whoever was going to fire a missile and worrying about it reaching the coast of the United States. And many scientists were saying that it wouldn't have to reach the coast, that it could go off miles at sea and cause a tsunami to just completely obliterate the east coast of the United States. We're going to get to that in a second. There's also another possible event that could happen, but this is what he talks about. He starts talking about Russia, and all of a sudden he just steers off and starts talking about a nuke going off outside of New York City. So that was out there. And we've got now a surge of just volcanic activity everywhere around the Earth, and in the island of La Palma off the coast of Spain. And this is extremely dangerous. I just want you to take a look at this clip and just see what I'm talking about. This is from 2017, and them talking about the dangers of a future eruption.
Future. Researchers say a volcanic eruption would not only cause devastation for the Canary Islands from the initial explosion, but could also trigger extensive underwater landslides. This would trigger a tsunami wave capable of inundating coastal areas thousands of kilometers away, as well as destroying islands to the east within 15 minutes to an hour. The warning came from Dr. Stephen Ward, from the University of California, USA, and Dr. Simon Day, from the Benfield Gregg Hazard Research Centre at University College London, UK. They refined previous estimates of the possible consequences of the volcano's western flank collapse. They believe that the buildup of groundwater could destabilize blocks of rock up to 500 kilometers in size, which could break apart in future eruptions, flowing into the ocean at speeds of up to 350 kilometers per hour, 220 miles per hour. The resulting water dome will be 900 meters, 2,950 feet, high, and the resulting tsunami, higher than recorded in history, will move outward in an arc formation, reaching speeds of 800 kilometers per hour, 500 miles per hour. Waves as high as 100 meters, 330 feet, will hit the coast of Africa, while heading northeast will affect Spain, Portugal and France, and could still approach 12 meters, 40 feet, when they hit the UK. That's almost triple the maximum recorded after the Lisbon earthquake of 1755. Dr. Day said waves hitting the UK coast would not penetrate more than 2 or 3 kilometers inland. He told the BBC in 2003, "Strange things happen when a tsunami enters a harbor or estuary. If it resonates at a certain frequency, it can substantially increase the damage." But fear is rising across the Atlantic, where waves can reach as high as 40 meters, 130 feet, towards northern Brazil. Dr. Day added, "It's very likely you'll see waves as high as 50 meters coming up the coast in Florida, New York, Boston, all the way to Greenland, and in some cases reaching up to 10 kilometers inland. And that would be about 9 hours or so after early collapse."
So we have this warning from a scientist saying that if La Palma were to have that landslide, and it's holding on by a thread, that it would cause a gigantic tidal wave that would just reach, it would be multi-continental and probably hit the eastern side of the United States. I'm not sure exactly how high they estimate it would be, but this is what's happening right now in La Palma. We are on day 32, I'm pretty sure, of this volcanic activity in La Palma. I mean, it's just been non-stop. This fault, I haven't heard any warnings about it lately, but you got to expect that this thing's hanging on by a thread. If this thing were to fall into the ocean, I mean, this is going to affect Europe and the United States. So chances are that they know this is coming and they're preparing for this. And there's certain individuals who are, I won't go into it here, that are preparing, going into their underground bunkers and getting safe. They've been putting their supplies away for a while. The elite, they've got a safe place for the coming economic chaos, and then any natural disasters or man-made disasters that are made to look natural. I'm not gonna. So we have this warning from a scientist saying that if La Palma were to have that landslide, and it's holding on by a thread, that it would cause a gigantic tidal wave that would just reach, it would be multi-continental and probably hit the eastern side of the United States. I'm not sure exactly how high they estimate it would be, but this is what's happening right now in La Palma. We are on day 32, I'm pretty sure, of this volcanic activity in La Palma. I mean, it's just been non-stop. This fault, I haven't heard any warnings about it lately, but you got to expect that this thing's hanging on by a thread. If this thing were to fall into the ocean, I mean, this is going to affect Europe and the United States. So chances are that they know this is coming and they're preparing for this. And there's certain individuals who are, I won't go into it here, that are preparing, going into their underground bunkers and getting safe. They've been putting their supplies away for a while. The elite, they've got a safe place for the coming economic chaos, and then any natural disasters or man-made disasters that are made to look natural. I'm not going to expound on that right now, but we've got day 32 though of La Palma going off, and here is something that just really caught my eye. I think they just finished this, but this is, I hope this looks familiar, because this is the sign of Hippocrates that I was talking about just a few minutes ago. The right hand coming up. In Masonic circles and secret societies, this means, this is essentially the vow of silence. This thing is in Hudson Bay in New York, and it's facing, I'm pretty sure it's facing towards Manhattan, and it's like on the other side of the island, facing inward, facing the people. So this is pretty interesting, pretty creepy, but you'll get an idea of how big this thing is here in a second. See if we can just stand around. It's got to be like at least 40 feet tall. This gigantic statue, just with the Masonic valve silence. Yeah.
If I can get them to finish their work.
You can tell me what you think. This looks pretty sinister to me, especially if something like a tidal wave were to come to head towards this thing. I mean, it would be pretty crazy image to see this behind, you know, have a tidal wave in the backdrop coming up behind this thing and headed towards Manhattan. You know what I mean? This giant tsunami wave. If La Palma were to, or any other reason, you know, a nuke could do it. Like they said, a nuclear, I mean, China has been, everyone's been panicking because China has been testing hypersonic. These things go up into you know, space basically and travel so fast, like 5-7 times the speed of sound, and hit their targets faster than any other missile that's ever been made. I mean, it matches the speed of our technology. We didn't know they had it. They've reverse engineered our technology or gotten it somehow. But this is just crazy. I mean, these are the possibilities that we're talking about. But this to me is just sinister. Okay, I don't know. It's just this Masonic symbol facing Manhattan, and we've got these impending, and people constantly talking about it. You know, you got Obama talking about like, oh, that, you know, that's the danger. I think he just wanted to make it sound like he called that. If anything would have happened, or they would have allowed to happen, you know, just crazy. But Spain, you got La Palma erupting. We've got places in, let me find this drone footage really quick. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Like, this dude's got a drone footage of the Icelandic volcano. This thing is just, Iceland's always erupting. There's always constant, it's a newer island. There's always high volcanic activity. But I think he loses the drone too, halfway through I don't know. I guess he had to have recovered the camera. Oh, great. Yeah, I don't know. We also have Kilauea, also erupting. Has been for, yeah, I don't know. This has been going on for a while too, but I think we're seeing an increase in volcanic activity. If not even that, just the mere fact that this landslide could happen in La Palma, cause this tidal wave potentially. Just some things that stuck out to me. You know, make of it what you will. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments, but I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy your night.